Okay, this is going to be the first in a series of videos to show you the first lab on using Siemens NX software. This is Siemens NX10. May look a little different than your Siemens. I think you're using 9 in the lab, but nevertheless it'll be pretty much the same. This is a little bit different look than what you would see with the other two software packages we've been using. But this is your graphics area, and over here to the left you have your browser, just like you have on the other packages. Across the top you have your different command structures to be able to create something. Note over here on the left side we do have the sketch. That's the first thing we do, just like with any of the other parametric solid modelers. Now we do have a file here where you can do different things, open up a new file, use an old one, and so on. So there are some things that we can do with that. In fact, I'm going to close the file I'm working in right now. Let's see. Don't really need to save anything. We'll just say close all parts. I don't need to save them. So this is what it looks like when it first comes up. So you got new, open a recent part, so on, and this is a recent part that I had done, so you can see some history there, different applications you can pick, and different things you can do. But we just need to go to new, and that'll open up a dialog box, and we could do models, we could do drawings, simulation, manufacturing, different things you can do with the software. But we're going to do a model, and we're going to do it in inches. You can do inches or millimeters. And we'll just call this, I'm going to call it NX part 1. And I've created a folder to save this in. It is in inches, and we'll just hit OK. So there's my part. Now, one thing you'll note is when you first bring this up and start drawing, you're going to notice it's going to put dimensions on the drawing, and it will put constraints on it if it can. I'll show you how we'll be able to change those as we move along. First thing I want to do is show you the drawing we're going to work on. It looks like this. A good view of it up here. And note that this top is this top view right here. So you can see the counter bores from this top. And this area right here is the bottom view. So the counter bores are going to be shown a little bit differently. So you can see that there are hidden lines there. This view is actually the front, and I've broken out some of that, so I had enough room to draw this in one piece of paper. And part of this is missing. So that's what that's all about. Another thing you see, we've got view AA here, and this is view AA. And this shows the edge view of this piece right here. So it's more or less the back side of this. But we have to show that from that edge so that we can project that up. It's called an auxiliary view, and that's what this is. Well, we removed it from where it would really be projected. It would have been projected up in here, but I needed the space. Then note that this view right here, and it's cut out as well. There's part of that missing. It's just an auxiliary view of this edge right here, which is the back side, if you will, of what's showing here. And that way we can show that true size and true shape. So this is what we're going to be drawing at this point. So we'll try to make this so we can see it as we move along. So basically we're going to start by drawing the bottom. But what we've got to remember is this is upside down. So we'll have to watch that as we go throughout this process. So the first thing I want to do is get my sketch. Let's see, I need to bring that just a little bit, so we can get both of them at the same time. So I want to draw my sketch. So I'm going to hit sketch, and it brings up a dialog box. It is on plane, and it wants to be inferred. So that's going to put it on this plane right here. And you can draw horizontal or vertical. We want horizontal. And we'll just hit OK. And there it reorients the view for you. So now we're ready to draw, and we've got some things across the top here we can actually draw. So we've done our sketch. We're in sketch 1, and we can start drawing. So all the draw commands are right here under direct sketch. So I'm going to draw, and I'll make sure that's at the origin, and you can see that there. And I didn't necessarily need that to come up. Let's hit it again. I'm going to go back to, I did get my sketch, yep. Okay, so we'll hit that again. And there we get the line. And now note, it did put that line's length in, and it put a horizontal. And now it's asking which, do I want the endpoint? Yes. It's putting the horizontal constraint on there as well. So each time that you have to, if I want to draw on that from the end of that line now, I need to get on that line, click, and then move up. And that's showing me it's perpendicular. Then, and I do like this in the fact that I can go and click on that endpoint and then just come up and draw that line, and now I'm going to click on that line again and come over here and click on this line, endpoint, and I'm done. So I'll just hit escape. So there you can see that it actually put the dimensions on there. Now those may not be the dimensions I want, so I can just delete those if I want. Okay, and it's just going to keep putting them in, and based on that. See, if I hit delete, continuous auto dimension is enabled to fully constrain sketch. So it's just going to keep adding that every time I try to delete it, and I don't want to do that. So what I want to do is come over here to File and Preferences, and under the sketch it says, do you want to edit this sketch? Yes. And I'm going to turn off continuous auto dimensioning, and that will take care of that. So I can delete that now. Well, I said I could. It should have taken care of it. Let's try it again. Turn that off. Okay, I should be able to delete that dimension now, other than the fact that let's see, it's able to fully constrain new automatic dimensional. It should let me take that out. Let's see if I take this all back off here now. Now let's go back and make sure, but it should have turned it off. It's turned off, so we're good there. Let's see what happens here now this time if we redraw that. Okay, I'm going to go in there. Oh, I lost my sketch. Better start my sketch again. Okay, I'm good. And we'll go in there and draw this. And notice it did not put that dimension in. It did constrain it. There's my perpendicular. Whoops, sorry. And it does snap to those endpoints. And I could say finish the sketch. I right click to get that menu, and I'm just going to hit OK. But now it didn't dimension it, so that I'm going to go in there now and put my dimensions. So there's your dimensions. Do you want rapid? Do you want linear? Radial? You know, I'm just going to go rapid. Okay, and I'll pick this object. There's a dimension. Now, oh, notice too, that's got a different. It's got a comma for your delimiter there, so it's 3.25. It's actually 3.25, so we'll have to reset that. I'll go ahead and put a dimension there. I want to put a dimension between these two lines, and we'll put it out here for now. And I want a dimension here for those two, and I think that's going to go ahead. That will be enough dimensions. Now let's go back and see if we can't get that delimiter in there right. Let's see if that's a drafting setting. Under the dimensions, let's see. Yeah, there we go. Under the, so that again, that was under the drafting settings, so preferences, drafting, and we want dimension. and it was under the units, text units, and right here the decimal delimiter, we want that to be a period. Hit OK, and then we're going to have to update that, I guess, somehow. Let's see, can we do an update on that? And I know I can. Just a matter of, there we go, refresh. Nope, that's not doing it. I have to do an update somehow. A little bit different than a refresh. But you can see it's still decimal points. Let's see, let me right click on that once and see if I can change the settings. Units. Let's see, format, nope. See anything there? I don't see anything there that'll let me do it, but I really want to do some kind of an update, or like a rebuild. Okay, well, let's try this. If I delete that dimension and put that back in, is that going to give me the correct? And it does, so I'll just go back in and delete these dimensions. I'll take the easy way out, and we'll just put those back in. And there's that. The dimension between those two lines. Okay, and then we can actually go in there and change those. Now, we could have done that as we went along, probably should have. That needs to be 65, doesn't it? Okay, this dimension right here, and I'll double click it now. That actually needs to be 3.5. I'll show you that here in a minute. This one needs to be 3.4375, and this one needs to be 3.5, I believe. Yep. Now, where did this 3.5 come from? If we go and look at this drawing, we'll note that right here, the radius is 1.75, so the distance from this edge to this edge would be 2 times that 1.75, and that's the distance from here to here, which is also the distance from here to here. So that line is 3.7 or 3.5, and this is the view we've actually drawn. So that's what that would look like. Now the dashed line here is the one that we're actually showing. So that's what that looks like. So it's 3.4375, and it's showing up as 3.438 here. We've only got 3 decimal places showing. But if you double click that dimension, you can see it does come up as 4 decimal places. So don't panic on me on that. Okay, so that's the actual part. Now, and just like SolidWorks, if you hold the middle mouse button down and you move your mouse, you're going to get 3D Orbit. So I'm going to go back up here and go to View, and I'll go to the top view, and we can see that like it was originally. And let's see, if we hold the Shift key, we can pan while we hold the middle mouse button and move our mouse, and zoom in and out with just by moving the middle mouse button or the wheel. So that's what that's all about. So we've got our shape drawn, we've got it all constrained. It does say that the sketch is fully constrained, so we can right click and finish the sketch. Once we've done that, let's see, we go back, let's go back to home here, and there's an extrude up here. You've got extrude, revolve, and rib. So we'll do an extrude, select a curve, there's my curve, and we'll rotate that around a little bit here maybe. Hoping we could. I thought it did it on its own, to be honest with you, but it looks like it's trying to do it. It's trying to work. While we're waiting for that, we gotta look and see how thick this thing is. It's a 1/2 inch thick. There we go. Oh, it already did it. So it already extruded the part. So we're going to have to go back in there, right click, edit the parameters, and we want that to be a 1/2 inch, don't we? Okay, and that's the limits, start and end 0 and 1/2. That's fine. There is no Boolean operation here. It's because we can't unite, subtract, or intersect, because this is the original one. So this is your base part. We can hit OK. So that's creating that first shape. Now I'm going to stop this video here. It's lengthy enough. We'll stop this. Well, first we'll try to save, hadn't we? We'll hit the save button. We already named the part, and I thought I named it NX Part 1. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Let's see here. I think that's a 1, but we don't need to save it again. So we'll stop here, and then we'll punch the holes in this next.